bit of a different view there on Facebook, haven't you? Let me just try and, tweak that around a bit. Hi, Facebook. Hello, everybody. Hi, if you are watching me on YouTube, on Catch Up. Excuse me, just getting my tech sorted. Well done if you're watching me live, by the way, if you actually clock the fact that I am on Thursday live today rather than Friday. And that's because it's kind of half-term week and it's been the bank holiday and, you know, family stuff tends to take over. It's what? I've got to turn it round. I do apologise. Okay, I will turn you guys round. We did look it up online to see why it didn't like going that way round. Anyway, hello, here I am. What I might do is I might just click off it and I'll cut. Oh, no, I'm going to stay on it. I'm going to stay on it. You guys know what I'm doing. So that's all okay. Hi there. Hi, Natalie. Hi, Tricia. Nice to see you all. Thank you. So this dress, I borrowed this dress. I've been doing some shoots, actually, so I've been borrowing some wardrobe from Aspiga. Really lovely British ethical fashion brand started by my great friend Lucy McNamara many years ago. She started off in Kenya using the little tiny beads and giving local women's cooperatives and women's groups basically beaded sandals and belts to make that she would bring back to the UK, and she would literally sell them from the boot of her car at, you know, fairs and festivals and things. And she's she's built this really, really great ethical fashion brand. She's top. So yeah, check it out. I love this. I wore this actually down in Salcombe. You might have seen some of my pictures from Salcombe. We were shooting for the magazine down there, and there's one of my favourite pictures actually, which was taken in an Airstream. We had a night in an Airstream, like Airbnb type thing, called Swallow's Flight. And we took a picture of me just sitting drinking a cup of coffee on the step of this Airstream, and yeah, I really like it. Yeah, I might have to not send this one back, Lucy. We'll see. But anyway, thank you for giving us. She's given us. Obviously, her margins are tiny, so we can't get, you know, big discounts. It doesn't work for a small brand. But she has given us free P&P because we've got an affiliate, Liz Loves code with her. So yeah, if you fancy checking out Aspiga online, then please do, because she's a lovely female founder, British brand to support on this Thursday. So not a Fashion Friday, but it's a Thursday. So big news today. We've been talking a lot online, particularly on Earlewellbeing.com, about the importance of brain health and healthy fats in the diet. And you may have heard me talk with Dr. Aseem Malhotra, who's the NHS trained cardiologist consultant, talking about the importance of fat and oils in the diet. And I've done lots of podcasts over the years with all sorts of people. One of my favourite ones actually was with a doctor called Dr. Simon Dial, who's a neuroscientist looking at the role of essential fatty acids, particularly omega-3s, in the brain, and just how important it is. You know, when you think of the brain, what goes on in our skulls, it's just extraordinary, isn't it? And I think there's just been so much concern, rightly so, about the rise in all those awful, debilitating, degenerative diseases within the brain, things like dementia and Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, and, you know, even just brain fog, you know, particularly for, you know, midlife women as we start to lose cognitive function due to loss of estrogen. So for all of those reasons, I sat down with my team and I said, look, you know, it'd be really good to pull something together that addresses all of this, because we talk a lot about physical fitness, we talk a lot about physical health and emotional health and hormone health, but, you know, what about one of the biggest and most important organs of the body, the brain? And sometimes I forget about it because we can't see it. You know, it's not like, you know, we can, you know, see our bodies, we can get on the scales, we can measure body fat, you know, we can, you know, there are lots of sort of tangible things that we can see. We can see our skin and how it improves with certain things or reacts to other things. But our brain, you know, it just kind of ticks away there, doesn't it, hopefully, until one day perhaps it doesn't. So really important, I felt, to address it. So anyway, many of you will know that I do a whole series of e-guides on the LizArWellbeing.com website, and I love the e-books. The e-books, I think, are just so great because, you know, we can produce them much less expensively than having to do a printed book. You know, I've got, in fact, some of my books here. You know, when I love my big books. You know, I love things like the Good Gut Guide. I love my my yearbook 2, which I've got here. you know, these are really beautiful, but they take a long time to do, and they're very expensive because we've got all the photography and it's, you know, properly printed paper and all of that. So, and they're very static. You know, they're kind of classic books that you keep, and hopefully you keep them and enjoy them for a good long time. But ebooks are kind of a whole different thing because they're much less expensive. So my ebooks normally are $4.99. And they have lots of links in them. So if anybody's ever downloaded an ebook, you'll know that, you know, throughout the narrative, whether you're reading it on a laptop or a tablet, an iPad, an iPhone, whatever, there's stuff that you can click. So, you know, if I'm talking about a podcast or a research paper or a document, you know, there is a link to click to it. So it actually kind of opens up and becomes much more expansive. And it also means that from time to time we update them. So, for example, if you've downloaded this one, this is The Truth About HRT, really, really popular, obviously, ebook. So I first wrote that with my team, must be, I don't know, 18 months ago, maybe longer, I forget, we lose track of time, don't we, at the moment. And then there were various studies that came out that tried to rubbish HRT yet again and scare people. So, you know, we were able to go back into the digital side of it and update it, so to keep it current. And in fact, what happens when you have your download, if you didn't know this, is you can re-download it. So your price basically covers you for one download, but that's for you personally. So it goes onto your little account at Earle Wellbeing, and it means that you can then re-download it if you need to, and that will show any updates. So it's always worth doing that. We don't tend to update them that often. It's only if there's really kind of something major. But it does keep them current and keeps them quite interactive. Anyway, so that's a really popular one. And then I also have, for example, this one, very good for the summer, A Flatter, Happier Tum. That's kind of digestive health, so that's all about gut health. And again, lots of links to good stuff on that. And then this last one, which I talked about yesterday actually when I was here live, A Stronger, Slimmer You, which is the download with all the exercises in it and stuff about keto and high-fat eating. You know, so you can build up a real library of them and always have them on your iPad or your phone or whatever, so that you've got a reference there, which is really handy. Well, okay, so today we are launching a new one. And you will not have to pay $4.99. No, you will not have to pay $3.99. It's not $2.99. It's not $1.99. It's not even 99p. Why? Because it is totally free. Yes, free for everybody for 3 days, and you can share it. So send people the link. You know, if you say, look, grab this while it's free, and we've done it because it's been sponsored by Ephemerol, which is a really lovely oil company. I love Ephemerol. I've used their products genuinely for years, for decades in fact. I've given my children Ephemerol fish oils and all of that. And so we approached them and said, look, would they like to sponsor the e-guide? Because that means that if they can, you know, cover the costs of my team for writing it and all of that, then we can give it free for a certain amount of time. So grab it while you can. So this is what it's called. See it just on the website now. Yes, I have got, well actually no, I'm not at home, so I don't have to put my wooden sign up saying filming in progress, because I'm not going to be bothered by the teenagers today. I've left them supposedly doing A-level revision. Kit, if you're watching, A-level revision, yes? Not reading the Beano, like you were the other night. Honestly, I caught him, he was lying on the sofa, you know, like this, reading. I thought, oh, he's so good, you know, just off a screen, reading, you know, hopefully a revision book. Walk round the other side. What was it? Copy of the Beano. His younger brother's Beano. Anyway, gotta love it, haven't you, really? So, anyway, this is our reading material for today and the weekend. Hopefully it's called Stay Sharp, Stay Sane. Liz's Essential Guide to Better Brain Health. So I thought that what I'd do today is just sort of give you a very quick overview so that you know that, I mean, obviously being digital, we're not going to run out, which is great. So it's plenty for everybody, so there's no rush. So we're on a Thursday, Alison, because it's a bit of a weird week. I've got my kids on home at half term. I did say this yesterday, but apologies if you missed it. So I'm not live tomorrow. So I've had to kind of juggle and shuffle things around, you know. Who else has got to do juggling at the moment? So I hope that many people will be able to watch today instead of Friday. But obviously it'll stay live. Not live, but it'll stay up, you know, as an Instagram live. It'll stay up on Instagram and, of course, Facebook, and it will go up onto YouTube as well. So if you want to send people to YouTube, that's often a very easy way to read it. Who else is reading the vino? Ah, Nikki, love the vino. Always used to pinch my brothers. I know, I have to confess, I have been tempted to sit and just have a quick flick. It's just kind of wholesome, isn't it? Gotta love the vino, as I say. Anyway, I'm just going to show you. So I printed this off. Okay, you don't obviously have to print it off. You can get it on your iPad or whatever it is where you're downloading stuff. It's jam-packed. Okay, so this is just the printed version. You're welcome to print it off if you want to. So I'll just show you the contents. Okay, here we go. So the contents, that's kind of what the little book contains. And it starts off with the brain anatomy, because I think it's really useful to understand what the brain is, how it works, you know, all the different bits of it, the hippocampus, the amygdala, the brainstem, you know, we hear often all these things being talked about, but actually which bit of the brain is it, and why is that important, and how does it work? I think it's all fascinating. I mean, I love learning all this stuff. And then I've talked about the life of the brain, so everything really even from pre-birth, you know, what happens in utero with the forming of the brain, and why it's important actually to have plenty of omega-3s, you know, during that formation time. And then moving on, all the different childhood development, the different stages, the teenage brain, the older brain, and then obviously really important as we age, the changes in our brains and what happens and what we can do to affect it. Because ultimately that's what we want to know, isn't it? Is what can we do to make our brains better and to be better protected, so that we keep our cognitive function as we age. Because if we're aging longer and we're living in our bodies, but actually we don't have our brain, you know, it's a real tragedy, isn't it? So then we talk about brain diseases. So that's quite interesting to know the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia. You know, do you know the difference between the two, and the difference in then Parkinson's, and how to spot signs of that, and what can help? And there's been some very interesting research actually looking at the link between Parkinson's and gut health. So yet another reason, you know, this vagus nerve that connects the brain to the gut, to the microbiome, really important when you're thinking about brain health, to think about gut health. The two are really strongly connected. We produce around 70% of our serotonin, maybe more, serotonin being that happy brain chemical, in the gut. So if we look after our gut, then our brains will feel happier, we will feel happier, we will feel less anxious, less stressed, we're better able to cope with adversity and when bad stuff happens, and keep our emotions on a more even footing, because we've got lots of serotonin and dopamine and GABA and all these brain chemicals. Really, really fascinating stuff. Then we go on to talk about inflammation and the inflamed brain, and you know why that is so detrimental, can be. And then we've got a whole load of brain boosting strategies. Is the book available as audio? No, it's not actually, but I think that's something that we could look at in the future. When I've got a spare few hours, I could maybe try recording it. So yeah, brain boosting strategies. So this is all about how to sleep better. Sleep, fundamental for brains, isn't it? I mean, you've probably heard me talk about this on podcasts before. Really, really important. You know, I protect my sleep more than ever now. It's absolutely a fundamental pillar of well-being. And that's for several different reasons, but one of the reasons is the way it impacts our brain and how we think and how we age. Obviously it comes into things like weight loss as well, really important to get good sleep, our immune function, so many things. What exercise does for the brain, you know, why moving is important, what kind of things we should be eating for the brain and not eating. Sugar being top of the list, anyway, that's another story. Hormones, brain hormones, you know, why testosterone for women is so important, why our estrogen is so important for brain health. How stress impacts our brains, you know, the role of cortisol and what that is doing within our brain and how that is also negatively impacting our immune system. So all these different things to be aware of. I mean, I just think it's a fascinating insight. So that's the contents. So I can just show you very briefly, you know, get to know your brain. There is a whole thing on brain anatomy, you know, I mean, all these things that I have to be honest, before actually looking at this in great detail, I was not aware of. Things like the different lobes, the 4 different lobes and what they all do. So we've got the frontal lobe, the parietal lobe, the occipital lobe and the temporal lobe. So there you go, telling you all about that. How it works, little pictures of walnuts there. Look at them, they look like little brains. And they're actually good for the brain too. And then all the different neurotransmitters. So I talked about things like serotonin and dopamine being the things that we want to encourage to keep our mood calm and just relaxed and focused. And the role of things like histamine, oxytocin, endorphins, all of this. Yeah, it's on Earle Wellbeing. You can download it there, free. And then talking about the life of our brain. So that goes literally from kind of pre-pregnancy through to childhood. It goes on to adolescence, adulthood. And interestingly, they now know that we can actually influence our brain as we age. They talk about things like plasticity, neuroplasticity. And we used to think that our brain was kind of set and that was it. But we now know that we can affect neuroplasticity as we age. There are certain things that we can do that will improve that. So really, really interesting to know what we can do to make life better. So then we talk about things like brain diseases. This was really fascinating, actually, looking at Parkinson's disease, who's most at risk, Alzheimer's, what the symptoms are, how to spot early symptoms of Alzheimer's, depression, obviously really key. So many people, the amount of mental health damage, that's been caused by lockdowns, and the numbers of suicides and extreme mental health, everything from acute anxiety, agoraphobia, OCD, eating disorders, all sorts of things happening, and how we can better protect our brains and our mental health. Really, really important. Looking at things that can help, like CBT, cognitive behavioural therapy. And then looking at the inflamed brain and the immune system. So again, making sure that we're better able to cope with inflammation and infections and all of that. Then we go on and we look at things like foods that can help. Ooh, secrets to staying sharp. That's a really good section. Brain boosting health. Don't know if that comes out the right way. Does it come out the right way? And sleep strategies. So talking about things like REM, the rapid eye movement, and why dreaming is really important to process stuff. And often you will dream about things that have happened during the day, particularly if things have been bothering you. You've got an issue that's on your mind. And actually that's a good thing, because apparently it's your brain working through it and processing it and kind of filing it away neatly in filing cabinets and helping us to deal with it better. So don't worry. I used to worry if I'd woken up, and I'd been dreaming. My dreams had been full of something that was preying on my mind. Actually, that's a good thing. It's a positive thing, because it means your brain is logically processing it. So yeah, really fascinating, isn't it? What's going on? Sleep deprivation, what that does, the negative impacts, and how that can also affect our Alzheimer risk, for example. Then talking about brain health and movement. Talk about brain training, so you can train your brain with all sorts of different things. And then eating, so eat the rainbow. I've got a few little recipes in here, particularly with berries. Love berries. You hear me talking about berries yesterday. I'll talk about berries in just a minute, actually. I'll move on to that. And of course, healthy fats, things like extra virgin olive oil, nuts, seeds. These things are so important. The fish oils, the oily fish, things that's high in omega-3s, the DHA, why the difference between the DHA and the EPA, which are the two forms of omega-3 brain fats, why they're so important and how they work independently. And actually, yes, we have got, FML have not only sponsored the guide, but they have also given us a 25% off. Okay, so it's not Liz Loves, it's a different code because it's not an affiliate code. It is Liz25. Okay, so there are links on here, and I know that Martha, you'll pop it on Facebook, but basically if you just go to fmol.com, so you can have a look at all their brain healthy oils for all ages. My kids, actually, I give them the drops, because they're just not great with capsules, and I know a lot of older people don't like capsules either. But yeah, Liz25, so it's a different code if you want to use that. That gets you 25% off all their things. And then, yeah, it talks about, gut health, why sugar's important, why fibre is important. Interesting, isn't it? You might think, well, why is fibre going to affect my brain? I can understand that it might affect my bowels, it might affect my gut, but, what's fibre got to do with the brain? But it has a really important role, because especially the prebiotic fibre, and that's the kind of resistant starches, They feed our good gut bugs that specifically link into the neurotransmitters in the brain. So it's, you know, it's really amazing how everything is connected. You can think about it for this kind of like this big loop, if you like, this circular system. And small things that we can add in can make a big difference. You know, it's what I always say, you know, knowledge is power. If we can understand how to do things and how our body is working and what it's responding to, it makes such a difference. Such a difference. Talking about brain boosting nutrients, so these are some of the key things, and you know, we've got some of our favourites here that I talk about a lot, things like magnesium, things like chromium, things like choline, things like vitamin B1, thiamine, and you know why that's important, copper for example, folic acid, vitamin B12, really important that you're supplementing with that if you're vegan or veggie, or eating, you know, a lot of plant-based foods. Really, really important to keep up your B12 for your brain health. Vitamin D, again, lovely vitamin D coming back classically to helping us with our brain. And then it wouldn't be an ebook, would it, on midlife if it wasn't about hormones. So there's a whole section on hormone health. So hormones, again, you can't separate out hormones, can you? Because you just can't pull hormones out of the rest of the body, because hormones, our endocrine system, is again regulating everything. Every second of every moment of our lives is being regulated by hormones. So, you know, not forgetting that our hormones and how the brain is interacting with those. And then stress, you know, help for stress. So many of us are stressed by so many things. Tell me about it. But, you know, there's a lot that we can do that can really help stress. So lots of good stuff. And then at the back, the very last page, this is further resources. So that's Dr. Dial, actually, who I was doing one of my podcasts with on neurotransmitters. Really interesting if you want to listen to that. So lots of resources. And again, this is why I like the digital e-guides, because all of these you can see in their little blue hyperlinks. When you download them, they're all links that you can click on. So really super easy. You know, there's no kind of, where's that podcast? Where am I going to find that feature? You literally just click on it. So really, really good. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that you have been able to join me today to listen to that. So it's not going to be free forever, sadly. So we've got 3 days, okay, 3 days of the free download. Thank you, Ephemal. So if you want to get it, and as I say, it's, you know, you can share it. Don't worry about sharing it far and wide. If you would like people, if you've got, you know, elderly members of the family, if you've got brothers and sisters, relations, teenagers, you know, students working, perhaps doing their exams at the moment, then, you know, please let them know that they can download it free and enjoy it for the weekend. You're so welcome, Tanya. I really, really hope that it is helpful and that people do enjoy it and benefit from it. Once it's no longer free, it'll just go back to being $4.99 like all the other e-guides, and it'll just stay up on our website, so you'll always be able to access it in the future. It just won't be a free one. Other things to say on the website at the moment, we've got a really nice new piece of content actually about plastics in the ocean. You know, this is a real ongoing issue, isn't it? So we've updated an online feature if you want to take a look at that, and that is really how we can better protect and take single-use plastics, particularly out of the ocean. And all these, the microfibers and plastics, microplastics in all these disposable masks. I mean, just ending up in landfill, in the oceans, being broken down into their plastic particles. What is it, 1.5 billion of these plastic-filled masks? I mean, it's just a shocker, isn't it? The environmental damage that's been caused by that. So I just wanted to mention again, yesterday, if you were here with me live yesterday, I had the lovely Federica, wasn't she brilliant? Absolutely brilliant. The clinical researcher in nutrition and nutritionist, and one of the brands that she's worked with has been Indie. And you know, I got it wrong. I said they'd given us a 10% affiliate discount, Liz Loves discount, and they haven't. It's 20%. 20%. Yeah, so even better. So, I mean, it would have been automatically applied. Oops, just been kicked off. Why have I been kicked off? How very rude. Instagram just closed down on me. Isn't that bizarre? It's usually you guys on Facebook. Where are we? Isn't that weird? Instagram literally just went down. It just went down. I was just saying to our friends on Facebook, it's usually Facebook that has an issue. And so, hi. I'm glad you're all back again. Very sorry. Why was that? Not even a warning. Not even a, ooh, we're just checking your connection because it might be a bit dodgy. No, just stopped. So, apologies. So that probably means that it hasn't saved that first bit that I did, which is annoying. So what I'll do is I'll take it from Facebook and we'll try and repost it that way. But oh, honestly, technology is always something, isn't there? There's always flipping something. Anyway, what I was saying, for those of you who joined me yesterday and heard me talk all about Indie, which is a really interesting drink supplement brand, British brand, and I thought the discount that they'd given us was 10%. It's actually 20%. 20%, that's cool, isn't it? And this is the one, when Federica was talking about the mind, so I thought this would be kind of relevant today because we're talking about brain health, I just had some of this, I've just made some, because she was saying that she has this perhaps mid-morning or in the afternoon, instead of a cup of coffee, to kind of sharpen the brain. So here's mine, I made mine, and it tastes, it's a good taste, it's a slightly kind of chocolatey berry taste. Nice actually, especially in the hot weather. Tastes a bit like a kind of chocolatey smoothie, or you know how you get kind of like iced coffee, you know, that's got that creaminess to it. So I'll answer that question in a sec, Nikki. So yeah, you can make it with water if you want, or you can make it with, I make mine with real milk. I actually made this with just some regular organic whole milk that I had. But you can make it with water, with milk. You could use a milk substitute if you wanted. But yeah, I think it's really good. So this one, because it's for the brain, it has tyrosine, which is the amino acid that Federica was talking about that helps to keep us sharp and calm. That's what we like. It has coenzyme Q10, which is really good for energy. It's got guarana, which has a little bit of natural caffeine in it, but doesn't tend to give you quite as much jitteriness as caffeine. Lion's mane mushroom, that was one of the mushrooms that we talked about, which was again really good for cognitive function. It's got cacao, so lots of polyphenols, and that's what gives it the delicious taste as well. And rhodiola and bacoba morinieri, which again are really good ingredients apparently for brain health. So it says here that you have it between meals or daily before any task that needs concentration. So, Kit, if you are watching me, he's got 2 more A-level exams left, 2 more papers. So I thought actually I would put this beside his laptop and say, right, let's try it. I won't give it to him for the first time on the exam day, just in case. Never good to try anything brand new on an exam day, is it? But I think we'll try it over the weekend and see. I think his last 2 papers are on Wednesday. And then that's it. You will have finished school. Anybody else going through that? So bizarre, isn't it? You know, you take these little tots all the way through life and development, and I've been feeding him his fish oils literally since he was born. So let's hope that that they do their thing, and yeah, and then hopefully, you know, we'll see good results. He wants to go straight off to uni. He doesn't want to do a gap year. He wants to go straight off. So let's see. So yeah, so that is Indie, and they don't just do the mind one, by the way. The other 2 that I was talking about yesterday was this one, which is Indie Body, which I really liked. I had this yesterday when I came back from my run. Lots and lots of prebiotic fibre, and it's got gluten-free oats and biocultures and chicory root, which is the prebiotic inulin, turmeric, it's got maca, reishi mushroom, which is the one I was taking for allergies, blueberry, hascap berry. I think they all have hascap berry in actually, and yeah, it's fine to take it with hascap. You know, we've got the hascapa berry, which I also love. That's the pure powder, so that's really, really good. You know, that's what I stirred into my granola at the weekend. Really, really good, honestly. I'll have to do another live, I think, just with the hascapa berry, because it's excellent stuff. So this obviously isn't concentrated hascapa berry, but it has some in it, and that's what gives it that lovely berry flavour and that obviously nice activity as well. And there's this one which is tone, that doesn't have Hascapa. This has Montmorency cherry in it, so it has different things, and lots of protein, lots of veggie protein there. So, and things like coconut water. Oh, it does have Hascapa berry, excuse me, and blackcurrant and green tea. And wasn't that interesting what Federica was saying? That green tea, if you take it like a supplement or you drink some green tea after exercise, it continues with the fat burning process. So that's a little hack that's worth knowing. So I'm definitely going to be looking at having some of this perhaps after an exercise session, or making some green tea. So yeah, really, really interesting. But yeah, if you've already got your Hascapa berry, there'd be no problem in having these as well. And I think you could just have these as and when you wanted, really. All three of them are slightly different, so depending on what you fancied, you could just have them there. You could make a smoothie, you could make a quick brunch drink with it, or at a time when you need it, like if you need a bit of focus, a bit of concentration, then brew yourself up a little cupful like I'm doing now. Indie, it's spelled I-N-D-I, Indie. I think their website is indiesupplements.com, I-N-D-I. There should be a link in my Instagram from yesterday. I always put all the details of everything in my caption, so there should be a link. Indie supplements, and a lot of people always say, what are you wearing, whatever. I do put it in the caption, or at least I try to always remember to put it in the caption. I would just check. Yeah, 20% off, so that's an affiliate code, so it's Liz Loves, okay, all in capitals, and that's indiesupplements.com, I-N-D-I, Indie Supplements. So go and take a look. Yeah, I'm sure there's loads of information. I have lots of information about all the different interesting ingredients. Really good. And I love products that multitask. That's kind of my background, I guess, creating a cleanser that, takes off eye makeup and face makeup and all the rest of it. So yeah, I love having things at a good value, everything is packed, really concentrated, so you're not having to take endless amounts of, capsules or, syrups or whatever. Right, so let's just see, I've got a few more questions that have come in. Iodine, do I still take the iodine? Yes, I do. So the iodine that I like, actually, I've got it here, is Weed and Wonderful. So this is Dr. Seaweed. This comes from the Outer Hebrides, from that really crystal clear water. I'm hoping to go there in September. Wouldn't that be fun to do a live? So instead of just kind of being here with a very boring background, I could actually be maybe, against a beautiful Hebridean sea. That would just be so great. So these I love. This is a food supplement, so if you look at it in the capsules, you can see they're slightly green, and that's because it's literally just ground up seaweed, ground up pure seaweed. So when you have a food supplement that comes from a food source, a bit like the Hascapa berry, it's not just one isolated chemical. You've got all the bioavailability of all the other supporting nutrients around it, because you have trace elements and trace minerals and all sorts of things that are bound up within the main ingredients. So they just use, what's the seaweed variety here? It is, I'm never going to be able to pronounce that properly, Ascophyllum nodosum. Nodosum? Sorry if I've not pronounced that right. And that's in a vegan capsule to protect it. So this is a really good source of iodine. And here in the UK, if you're watching me in the UK, we do have, quite worryingly low rates of iodine. A lot of the iodine's been taken out of the soil through intensive farming over, the decades. And we're, having fewer, foods like dairy products, which is naturally really a rich source of iodine. So, you need to make sure that your iodine levels are good. We've got really interesting features on iodine on Earlewellbeing.com. So if you're concerned about that, so important if you're pregnant. So if you're pregnant, or somebody who's pregnant, maybe you've got a daughter or a granddaughter who's pregnant, really, really important. Ask them about their iodine. Ask them just to make sure that they're getting enough. Really important for fetal development, along with folic acid, along with your omega-3s, along with your fish oils. Make sure that they're reading, the downloads. Send them a copy of this as well, because there's a whole section on fetal development and, baby brains and the importance of omega-3s. With thyroid, it depends. Thyroid medication is always so precise, isn't it? People take different amounts for different things, and you can have an underactive or overactive. So best to check with your GP and just check your thyroid levels. But they have a very good informative website, actually, Weed and Wonderful. So if you want to get that or have a look at it, they are Seaweed and Co. That's their website address. Okay, Seaweed as in SEAWEED, Seaweed and Co. written out.com. And again, we've got Liz Loves. We've got an affiliate link with them as well. So that is a discount, 20% off again, which is good, isn't it? And I seem to remember when I looked at their website that they were being really generous, that they had already got some discounted offers on their website and like subscriptions and that kind of thing. And when we checked, our discount code actually worked on that as well. So it was like a double discount. So yeah, really worth checking that out. Blueberries, this was a question that came up on Instagram. Are frozen blueberries as good? Well, yeah, that was a question that Federica answered yesterday. And actually, you know, frozen foods, if they're frozen really quickly, just after they've been picked, they can actually have more nutrients in them than a packet of, you know, peas or blueberries that's sat on a shelf fresh for a while, because it will have been picked, it will have been packed, it will have been transported, it'll be, you know, sitting perhaps under, you know, supermarket or greengrocer's lights for a day or two. So, you know, all of that will start to deteriorate and reduce its nutrient level. So yeah, I think frozen fruit and veg is a really good call, actually. Have we covered supplements for bone health? I have a bit in various podcasts, trying to think which ones. I think I did, I talked about bone health, probably with Louise Newson, talking about HRT and osteoporosis, talking about calcium. I also did a funny little thing on my Instagram. It was a reel, actually, one of these little short video clips, talking about smoothies and not using spinach, because spinach is high in oxalic acid. And that is like an anti-nutrient, so it binds with calcium, takes calcium out of the body and can be actually bad for our bones. I don't know about that. Yeah, thyroid. We have actually done things on thyroid. I'm pretty sure there's some thyroid and iodine features on Earlewellbeing.com. I don't know, Martha, whether you can link to that, my love, on Facebook. But yeah, do please go and have a look. I know that we've also covered them in the magazine. So I hope everyone is subscribed to the magazine. Oh my goodness, we still have a few, not many because they've been going really quickly, but a few mystery subscription gifts even. So the subscription gift is worth at least £20 and, you know, may well be worth more. That comes to you free with a subscription. So you subscribe on direct debit. It can either be for you or it can be for a gift. So if you want to share the love and give a gift subscription, but maybe have the gift sent to you, then you can do that. Just put in the little comment box that you'd like the gift sent to you, and then you can give the subscription to somebody. But we will be sending out, the next issue will go out, I think in about 3 weeks' time. It'll go out, you know, first week of July. It'll be the July-August, the summer issue. Just finishing it off at the moment. Very good it is. I was just writing the book review section for a book that I'm reading at the moment, which is really, really good. But I won't tell you what it is because that would spoil the surprise, so you'll have to wait until the magazine comes out. Okay, so, oh my goodness, this was from Pamela. This was a comment actually about one of my YouTube videos on menopause, so I'll just perhaps finish off with this. And she said, about 10 years ago, I went to the doctors about my menopause symptoms. The doctor, a woman I might add, was useless. I asked her how long the symptoms would last. Her reaction was, how long's a piece of string? No advice and definitely no HRT. She didn't believe in it. She didn't believe in it. What? How do you not believe in a clinically proven natural hormone? I mean, that's outrageous, isn't it? She didn't believe in it. I went through hell. I thought I was going mad. I wanted to end my life. Just let that sit there for a moment. When I look back, I'm so angry with the way I was treated. Things are slowly getting better. It's a hidden nightmare. Thank you for being able to say the M word without having to whisper. Oh my goodness. It just makes me so sad. It makes me want to cry, actually. I mean, Pamela, thank you for leaving that if you're watching this on YouTube. It's a shocker, and I'm just so sorry that you have spent 10 years of your life like that. I do hope that you're being helped now. It's never too late. My mum went back onto HRT aged 80. She's given me permission to share that, and there is just so much out there. I'm so proud of the work that the Menopause Charity is doing. So we launched it a couple of weeks ago. I say we because I'm an ambassador for them, so it's very close to my heart. And the work that they're doing already, you may remember that I said that they had made available GP training. And actually, you know, you talk about doctors and about bad, excuse me, bad reactions. Oh, I think I just swallowed a bit of dust, or I don't know, pollen that's come in. I take a sip of my mind drink. You know, sometimes it's easy to GP bash, and we don't want to do that at all. And we just want them to have the right training. And the great thing about the Menopause Charity is that it made available, it was over £1 million worth of training. So I think there are something like, was it 13,500 GP surgeries? Something like that. Sorry, I'm not crying because of menopause, but it made me cry. I'll tell you about it. No, there was just a bit of fluff went down the wrong way. So they have had to date, and it may even be more now, 8,500 GP surgeries and practitioners contact them to do the training. Isn't that amazing? 8,500. So that means that there will be 8,500 more practitioners throughout the UK, and they also extended it to Ireland as well, who will have completed this course called Confidence in Menopause. And it's an NHS accredited, proper, independent, not funded by pharmaceutical companies, it's not funded by, you know, HRT manufacturers, it's just an unbiased, totally evidence-based course. And there will be 8,500 more GPs or practice nurses or pharmacists, prescribing nurses, who will be better able to help women. Isn't that phenomenal? Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I just feel really strongly, and I just want to say a massive shout out to everybody at the Menopause Charity, Dr. Louise Newson, obviously, for founding it and for pushing on with it so much, because the work that she's done in transforming women's lives, I mean, it's, you know, somebody said to me, oh, you know, you should, you know, be recommending her for an MBE or an OBE, and I said, no, she needs to go straight to damehood, okay? We're not going to mess about with that. I mean, she is just extraordinary, the number of women's lives that she's changed, and her commitment to better educating doctors so they can better help their patients. And the Balance app, free, you know, it's a free app. Go and download it anywhere in the world if you're watching me overseas. Balance Menopause. I mean, it's just astonishing. And I'm just so proud to be able to support her. You know, I really, really am. She deserves every bit of support and praise. So anyway, now, thanks to the generosity of the Menopause Charity and Louise and 14 Fish, which is the company that produced this course, doctor training course, there will now be literally the ability to help tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands more women. You know, they have done more for menopause training than the Royal College of GPs have done in the last decade. And they've done it in, you know, a week or less. Astonishing, isn't it? Just shows what you can do when you have the determination and the power and the capacity and the belief and determination. And of course, brilliant Davina, lovely Davina McCall and her amazing documentary. I hope everyone's voted for her, by the way. I don't know if voting's closed yet. Do look it up online. But they're the National TV Awards for Best Documentary. Wouldn't it be amazing if she won with that one? And Kate Muir, who's a journalist who wrote it. I mean, that would be phenomenal. I voted, so do please vote. That would really help put it on the map. And I think hopefully Channel 4 have seen such an amazing response to that documentary that they're going to commission more programmes. So, because it just scratched the surface, you know, it didn't even look at testosterone or, you know, breast cancer help or all of that, you know. So there's a lot. You voted. That's so great. So great. And you voted for Davina. Excellent. Brilliant. Well, on that bit of good news, I shall love you and leave you. So as I say, there's no live tomorrow because I've got family bits and pieces going on, but I will be back with you live on Monday. Make sure that you're subscribed to the Earle Wellbeing newsletter because that will be coming with you tomorrow. So that will go out. Amy, my digital editor, sends it out at 4 o'clock on a Friday, so you've got to be on the list in order to get it. Do check your spam folder in case it gets held up on there. There'll also be a new edition of the Friday 5, which will be going live tomorrow. So, yeah. Oh, you got your testosterone script. Well done. Well done, Sophie. Have a really great weekend. It's a bit early to wish you that, but have a great Thursday. Really happy Friday. You're very welcome. Don't forget, download. This is free. Okay, free. Share the link. Let people know they can get it free. It's free until midnight on Saturday. So if you're watching this on catch up, if it's before midnight on Saturday, then you can feel free to download it and share it. Oh, before I go, what have I got on my eyes? So, okay, so this is, I'm actually wearing a Delilah. You remember the live I did with Rupert? Who loves Rupert? We all love Rupert. Happily married man. We love Rupert. He's the co-founder of Delilah Cosmetics, which he set up with his lovely wife. So this, they've also given us a Liz Loves discount as well. So there's the affiliate Liz Loves. Okay, that's the code. This is the little compact that I was using, and I picked it out. Actually, I don't know whether you can see, because I've got in here, these are sort of pinky colours. I don't know whether you can see that actually, but they're kind of pinky, like slightly frosted pinky colours. So I thought I'd put them on my eyelids just to match my pinky sparkly dress. And my lip gloss is also one of theirs, and it's called Minx. That's the lip gloss that I'm wearing today, and that's from Delilah, which is the British cosmetics brand. I think we have 20% off with them as well, just on single items, not on their kits and sets, because that's already been discounted. But yeah, if you want to take a look, then do. Have a lovely weekend, and I shall see you back here live on Friday. My dress is from Aspiga. I'll pop a link in the caption when I'm able to upload all this. Anyway, have a great weekend. Yeah, Rupert, we'll get him back. We will, don't worry. You're downloading the e-booklet. Well done, Gillian. Thanks all. See you soon. Bye.